Thanks for tuning in. I'm your host, John Piper, for another edition of Falcon Football Weekly, brought to you by the Lake Dallas Quarterback Club. You can find us on iTunes, on your Apple iOS device, your iPhone, Apple iPad, on Spreaker Radio. Just go to Spreaker, SPREAKER.com, and search Falcon Football Weekly to find us, and also on SoundCloud. Make sure you share the podcast out to the Lake Dallas community and the fan base all across the country.
Lake Dallas Cheer would like to welcome you to
Falcon Football Weekly!
Dinner snapping, here we go, shine drill. Ready, set, go!
Welcome to episode 10 of Falcon Football Weekly. Thanks for tuning into the podcast. Each week, I'm joined by head coach Michael Young. Good morning, Coach.
Good morning.
Well, we're just coming off Halloween. Anything interesting going on in your neighborhood last night? I know it was cold and rainy. Many trick-or-treaters out?
No, we went over to some friends, and all the kids went out trick-or-treating, but the weather got quite a quick raining just in time, and ended up being a pretty nice evening, and everybody had a good time.
I do want to bring this up, and we talked to a lot of coaches that have sons that want to follow in their dad's footsteps. I saw your son Ryan this week had a chance to put on the headset and the coaching. I think he had on the patented khaki pants and coach's golf shirt, and looks like your son Ryan wants to follow in your footsteps and become a coach. Is that correct?
Yeah, he dressed up for his career day at school. He was awful excited about it. They called me during the 8th grade game up here on Tuesday evening, and my wife had asked if we had an old headset because he was going to dress up as a coach, and he needed a headset to wear during school. He met me in the driveway when I got home to get the headset so he could get it on and start practicing his pointing and yelling face.
Man, that's fantastic. And hey, about 80-90% of the time, Coach, when we do ask a coach, hey, do you want your son to become a coach, a head coach, football coach, or it could be other sports as well, what is your thought? Are you want to encourage your son to become a head coach, or do you tell them?
If this is what they love and they love the sport, it's a great profession to get in, because it's something, you need to get into something that you like to do. You like to go to work. You like to do what you're doing for your career. And if this is what they want to do, then there's probably nothing better joy that you get out of it than coaching. So maybe he will. One of them, I have 3 of them that all love sports and fishing and outdoors. So I'm sure one or two of them might get involved in it.
That's a great message. Follow your passion. I just was talking to a young man the other night, and I said, hey, the true litmus test is on Sunday night. Are you getting excited about going to work on Monday? And I know a lot of people work on the weekends, but whatever, the night before you start your week of work, you got to be excited about it. And that's a great litmus test and great advice for the audience, Coach.
Yeah, it's you need to love what you do, or it's going to be a long life. Once you get out of school and start working, you got to do that for a long time. So you need to do something you enjoy doing.
Now, here's one last question about this. Your wife, Amanda, how does she feel about Ryan going into the coaching profession? I know he's got a couple years off to make his decision, but is she all in on that as well?
Well, I think her advice is you better find a wife that enjoys it as well. So that would be her advice.
That's good. All right. Well, Coach, game versus Lovejoy last Friday night, a key matchup in the District 7 5A Division II, really a showdown type game as we head into the playoffs. We talked about it being one of the toughest games on your schedule, especially on the road. Lovejoy jumped out early with scoring drives in the first quarter to take a 21-0 lead. How were you able to settle your guys down to start the grind back?
Well, I think any time on the road in a game like that, in an atmosphere like that, with a good team, there's going to be that initial punch you got to take at the beginning of the game. And I thought we took it, but we didn't do it well enough. That was kind of our downfall. We gave up too many points at the beginning of that before we could get it turned. I knew once we got our score in, we we practiced an onside kick the way that they had lined up to surprise them. We were able to recover that right after our first score, and we got that ball back after that. I felt good that we were going to be able to come back, but it was just too much to try to come back from. But our defense played great after that. They scored 3 points in the last 3 quarters of that football game at home with a really good offense. So I was proud of our team. We played really well. We just really ran out of time. We had a couple of possessions late in the game down in their end, and we had to settle for field goals, and that cost us. But we outgained them by 140-something yards. We really dominated the game except for the first 8 or 9 minutes of it, and that's what hurt us.
Right. You mentioned that. They go up 28-0. Things weren't looking good. At halftime, there had to be something that you and the staff did to reignite the team. The Falcons come out a different team and like you said, had a chance to win on the last play of the game. I was following it online, and I think you're on about the 18-yard line. Depperschmidt had a shot at the end zone to try to win the game. Yeah,
we got down there and had a couple chances then. The possession before, we got down to the 14-yard line and had another 4th down and threw an interception in the end zone. So we had 2 possessions where you got down inside of their 20 in the last 3 minutes of the game. We just didn't come away with any points. But we played a great game. We played, I thought, for those last, the second, third, and fourth quarter, we played as well as we could possibly play. We just didn't get it done in the first quarter and fell too far behind. They're too good a team to do that too, especially on the road. But we were excited the way that we played. It was during that time, but it was a tough one. That was about as tough a loss as you can have. It was hard on everybody, and it's been our job this week to bounce back and bring that kind of energy we finished that game with back here tonight.
You have to be able to take away some positive things from that second half performance. Like you mentioned, it's hard to end up on the losing side of a finale like that. But what are some of the positive things that you've been talking to your kids and your coaches about during this week's of practice?
Well, we ran the ball really well. We were efficient throwing the ball in those last 3 quarters. Defensively, we played as good a coverage and pressured the quarterback as we played all year. So there was a lot of good things that we did, and we can build on that. We just, hopefully things will work out for us. I think we're playing pretty good football right now, and hopefully things will work out where we can get in the playoffs and do some of those things.
Depperschmidt had another big game, 22 carries, 159 yards on the ground, very efficient in the air, 23 of 39 for 237 yards and 2 TDs. He continues to be the playmaker in your offense and the team leader that you need him to be.
Yeah, he had a great game. I thought our offensive line did a lot of that. I thought we really protected well. I thought we ran the ball well, which made things easy. So our offensive line plays like that with a quarterback like him. He's going to have a big night because he's a good player, and if we can protect and do those things for him, he's going to be efficient and be good.
And you mentioned your running attack. Kylie Smith had a very efficient game, came up big on the ground with 8 carries for 79 yards and a TD. What can you say about his performance?
Yeah, he was really good in the backfield. He did some wildcat stuff for us, took some of the pressure off of Ryan, and we'll continue to use him more and more in that role. He does a good job. Just more that we can get the ball in his hands, the better we're going to be on offense.
Brandon Ingle was the target for most of the receptions. He had 13 receptions for 150 yards. Kylie Smith added 3 and a TD. Braden Kane with 5 receptions for 37 yards. So Depperschmidt continues to like his big target there, Brandon Ingle, but he spread the ball out a little bit to keep the defense a little off balance.
Yeah, we did a good job of mixing it around. They didn't do a lot of stuff that we've seen from other people that were trying to take Ingle out of the game and double team him. So if they're not going to do that, we're definitely going to go to him as much as we can.
And the defensive effort in that second half, you got to be proud of how they rebounded. Only 3 points allowed. What was the key in that second half that really got that defense ignited?
Well, I thought really is just our pass rush. Their running back got hurt late in the second quarter, right before halftime. I think that really hurt their running game, and we just, we got away from our dime and 3-man front that we'd been trying to blitz, and we went back to our base 4-man front and told our 4 guys to go get the quarterback and get after him. And that's what they did. And I thought they just dominated their offensive line, and he just couldn't have time to throw the ball without the running back. They weren't very good at running the ball. So it was really our front that just really got after him.
And let's talk about each and every week we like to highlight the players of the week. Let's start with the sub-varsity players, Coach. Freshman player of the week, Edgar Pizzana.
Yeah, Pizzana, he's moved up and helps us a lot on the offensive line, a good defensive player, and been one of the steady guys we've had all year long.
The junior varsity player of the week, Mason Jeter.
Yeah, Mason's a wide receiver, had a big night, had some big catches, and has really come on, and we look for big things from him in the future when he plays on varsity next year. A tall kid that can run and catches the ball well.
Of course, a kid that we really talk about each and every week, Falcon player of the week, your quarterback, Ryan Depperschmidt.
He had a great game, and not only that, he even when things were bad the first quarter, we weren't scoring. He was the one thing that was kind of working. So he was even doing it when things weren't going very good and kind of kept us in the game. So, but he had a great night, and he's going to finish the season great with some great numbers, and he's been consistent all year long. Good.
Special teams player of the week, Anthony Patty.
Yeah, he's been incredible kicking field goals. I think he's missed 2 all year. He's just it's really such an important part of to feel good about being able to kick a 35, 40-yard field goal and know that your guy's going to make it. And he's just been really consistent, great on his kickoffs. They had a really good kickoff return team. He did a great job of pooching it. They never got one really past the 40. We kind of kept them, that being a big part of their game, and he did a good job of that too.
The offensive player of the week, big Tyler K.
Tyler and had a great night along with all the offensive line. They all have to do that together to be efficient. And Tyler's a kid that's worked hard. He's very coachable, and he's going to have a chance to play at the next level, I think, at some place. And a big part of our success the other night was our offensive line and Tyler's play. And
hats off to the defense, like you mentioned, second half, especially defensive player of the week, Kelvin Yuka.
Yeah, Yuka came in and played defensive end, had a couple big sacks for us. That he was part of that rush of those 4 guys: DL, Yuka, Brockenbush, T-Ray, David Blair, all those guys, Crawford, Junior Flores. Those guys just dominated the second half of that game with their pass rush and just getting after the quarterback, and Yuka was a big part of it.
Well, Coach Young, 2 games left in the regular season. You're back home this week. It is senior night at Falcon Field. Some of the key takeaways and teaching moments for your team this week that you're reinforcing as you go into the last 2 regular season games.
Well, the thing like every year, you just want to get in the playoffs and have a chance to make a run. For us to do that, we have to win this game tonight. So we have to come back and get our energy back after a tough loss like that. It can be tough, but I think with senior night and the stuff that we have going on, I think we'll do that. And we got to get a little help. We need Lovejoy to beat Denison. If Lovejoy beats Denison Friday night and we beat Braswell, we're pretty much going to be in the playoffs. The only thing we'd have to do then is beat Lebanon Trail the last game, and obviously they're one of the new schools that's really struggled. So I would think I'd like our chances in that game. So we just need to take care of our business, and then we'll see what happens at the other game. But we got to take care of our business first.
You mentioned Denton Braswell. They're next up, and they're hot. They're playing with some confidence. Game is Friday night at Falcon Field. How does your team match up against the Bengals?
Well, they are hot. They're playing as well as anybody. They got a lot of confidence. This is going to be tough because they're athletic. They got big kids, so it's going to be a challenge. I think they're playing as well as anybody. When the team's going to get on a roll like that, it can be really hard. And we're playing somebody that's on one of those rolls. And, we're going to have to – they play really good defense. I think the problem that they've had this season is turnovers at times, and that's going to be a big part. We need to turn them over and get the ball from them and help our offense out a little bit because they are good on defense and try to get some easy points. I think that'll be the key to the game.
Well, Coach, you mentioned focus is this Friday night win. The message all year has been believe in battle. So the Falcon Football family, Lake Dallas Quarterback Club, and everybody in the community believes in what you all are doing believes in the team. Good luck Friday night, and we'll be there to support you.
All right. Appreciate it. Thank you.